Good morning. Sunday night, like many of you, I was watching the Super Bowl, having a lot of fun watching the game. I'm a big fan of football, and so every year the Super Bowl is a lot of fun as we get to crown a champion and see the season come to a close. It's always a little bit sad too, because we know it's going to be a number of months now before we're going to have football back in our lives. But I enjoyed watching the game Sunday night and seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady as he won his 7th Super Bowl, and as they, as an organization, got to win. And they obviously played a great game as a team together that night. But it was neat to be able to go back and watch, and I found myself at different times throughout the game cheering for each team. I didn't really have a dog in the fight. Neither one of those teams was my favorite team, but there were certain players and coaches and stories on both teams that I found myself liking and was cheering for at different times during the game. So I didn't have a particular team I was cheering for. I was just hoping for a good game. But it was fun to watch the different players, and one of the players I was cheering for was Patrick Mahomes. I enjoy watching him play the game of football because he seems to be able to do things on the football field that nobody else can do. He has an incredible talent. He's an amazing arm. He's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is an unbelievably gifted player. I found myself watching him, and if you've watched him over the years, you see him throw different passes that just seems like nobody else can throw. He'll be throwing on the run, or he'll be throwing off his back foot. He'll throw the ball sidearmed or at other different angles. He'll do these little shovel passes and jump passes. He's thrown the ball left-handed before, even though he's right-handed. He just does some amazing and creative things on the football field that just kind of leave you speechless. But I saw a play the other night during the Super Bowl that I just had to stop and appreciate what he did. There was a play where he was being chased by one of the defenders, and he ran over to his right, and as he was getting tackled, he jumped. His body was parallel to the ground, and without any feet, any body part on the ground, he was midair. He threw the ball 30 yards down the field and hit his receiver, just perfectly. It was an amazing, unbelievable athletic ability that allowed him to throw that kind of a pass. I've never seen anything like it before. It was really fun to watch him play in the Super Bowl, and you could tell he was playing his heart out and doing his very best for his team. Even though they came up short, they didn't quite win, it was fun to watch him play. But it got me thinking about all of these different NFL players and the guys who have reached the peak of their field, the guys who are now there competing for the Super Bowl, the highest game that you could hope to play at that level of football. These are amazing athletes who can do incredible things. But as I was watching Patrick Mahomes pull off these kinds of throws, it occurred to me that I can't even begin to comprehend how many hours Patrick Mahomes has put into playing football. How many hours has he put into just his basic footwork as a quarterback? How many hours has he spent just playing catch in the backyard as a kid growing up, or now with his receivers there in practice? How many hours has he spent just practiced handing off the football? All of these basic fundamental things. Because what occurred to me is that you're not able to throw the kind of throws that Patrick Mahomes does with the kind of creativity that he has unless you first have mastered the basics, the fundamentals of the game. He has spent countless hours perfecting his craft so that he can go out and do those amazing things on the football field that he does. And as I thought about this for these NFL players, and each of them have done it in their own areas, I started thinking about how true the same concept applies to us as well. I may not have the athletic, God-given ability that Patrick Mahomes has to throw a football like he does, but God has still given me gifts as well. And God has given you gifts. And now we each have the opportunity to choose how we will develop those gifts. Will we put in the hours, the time building the fundamentals of our lives, of our spiritual faith journey, so that we can develop the gifts that God has given us in order to use them in amazing ways? I believe that God has given each and every one of us amazing gifts. And I believe it's up to us to decide how we will choose to use them. I think we all want to make a difference in this world. We all want to bless life. We all want to bring hope to others. But it's up to us to determine how disciplined we're going to be doing our daily devotional time, finding the opportunities to participate in worship and to grow in our faith so that we can build those fundamental building blocks and lay that foundation in our lives so that we can continue to develop those gifts and do amazing things in this world. I know that God has blessed you. God has given you gifts. And today, you and I get to decide how we're going to develop those gifts and how we're going to be able to follow the Holy Spirit to go where God is leading us so that we'll be able to use those gifts to share His love and bring hope in this world. I hope that you make the most out of your gifts today.